Howdy folks, and welcome to another Taste of Gameplay video, this time for the German Tier 10 Premium Battleship, the Großer Kurfürst. As always, these videos are designed to give you a sample of the gameplay of the ship, not to be an exhaustive analysis. I recommend the Wargaming Wiki or other content creators. So, the Großer Kurfürst, a legendary ship, been in the game forever. So, usually I skip more of the beginning of these videos, but I didn't this time. And the reason is because I want you to notice where I am on the minimap. Believe it or not, that is the closest that I am going to get to the game in the entire battle. And it's not because I'm going to play poorly. I'm not saying that I'm necessarily going to play amazingly well, but I am going to do the thing that you basically have to do in a ship like the Großer Kurfürst to be successful in it in World of Warships. I'm actually going to get a 2 badge. We're going to win the game. I'm going to get 100,000 damage. I'm going to get 1.8 million potential damage. I don't really think I played poorly. I don't think I really played like a coward. This is just the way you have to play ships like this in the game today. And I think that's worth talking about. And the Großer Kurfürst is as good a place as any to talk about it. So let's talk about pre-kiting. This thing that I'm doing right now, if you don't know, it's often called pre-kiting. Kiting is when you are moving away from the enemy ships, and pre-kiting is when you basically, at the beginning of the game, turn your stern towards the battle, and then you potentially back up slowly, but you're essentially always ready to just get the heck out of Dodge. And that is basically what I'm doing. Now, why do you do this? I mean, of course, in the very early days of World of Warships, if somebody did this, you might accuse them of playing badly or even of, I don't know, doing something weird, hacking, padding their stats. But these days, I think it's understood and accepted that this is just the way you have to play ships like this. And it's worth talking about why. So the Großer Kurfürst. What is the Großer Kurfürst? Well, it's the pinnacle of this direction of ship design. It has 105,000 hit points. It has, on paper anyways, excellent armor, including 60 millimeters bow, and I believe like a 32 millimeter deck. Its citadel is visible and hittable, but not egregiously bad. Look, it's okay. Actually, look at this poor Amagi. So this Amagi's basically half dead. I think he's going to die here in a minute. And what is his sin? Well, his sin is just getting too close to the battle too quickly. He's not even that close, but he's too close. You see where I am relative to that sea cap, and you see where he is. And that's in a battleship, in theory, the tank class of the game. So why does this happen? Well, one huge difference with World of Warships in 2025 is that it used to be that being tanky meant a couple of things, most of which was the main elements of which were hit points and armor. So if you had a lot of hit points and you had really good armor, then you were tanky. And that makes sense, right? Well, that just doesn't work anymore. So in modern World of Warships, it's fine to have hit points and it's fine to have armor. Those are not bad things to have, of course, but the way to be tanky is to avoid getting hit at all. So you need maneuverability, you need concealment, you need special tricks like planes, which allow you to hide behind islands. You have to either not get spotted by shooting behind islands or being in smoke, or maneuvering quickly and easily, or just somehow having other gimmicks that keep you from either getting shot at in the first place or getting hit when you get shot at. Because armor is just not going to save you. I mean, sure, in some instances it might, but there's so many ways these days to spot ships, to do damage to ships. I mean, we're talking about aircraft carriers, of course, but also submarines and ships that just fire ridiculously fast and HE spam. Of course, German battleships in general, and the Großer Kurfürst is no exception, are known for their huge superstructures, right? So all the player base knows now that when you're fighting against the Großer Kurfürst, you just aim for the superstructure. And so instantly all that armor is just kind of meaningless. It doesn't matter because you have this giant weak point on the top of your ship. It's almost like playing one of those old Nintendo games where the boss would flash a specific part of themselves, and then you had to hit that. I mean, it's not that hard to hit the giant superstructure. This is the other thing, right? Look at that dispersion. I mean, I guess it's all right, but like, God, I mean, broadside light cruiser at a dead standstill at 14 kilometers, and I can't hit him. So yeah, unfortunately, sad Mr. Kurfurst has essentially been power crept. And while you can still play her, oh my God, see, I think that's just the superstructure. I think I just took a ton of damage. One of those shells might have hit my deck. I'm not sure. I mean, this is not a problem that's unique to the Grosser Kurfürst, of course, but the Grosser Kurfürst is probably the best example of this. Like, look at that Thunder, for example. He's going to shoot HE at me. He's a battleship, but he's going to shoot HE at me. And so my armor just doesn't really matter. Okay, as soon as I say that, he proves me wrong and he shoots AP. But usually Thunderers will just spam HE at you. Oh, and that's the other thing in World of Warships that makes you tanky is heals. And of course the Grosser Kurfürst does have heals, and they're not bad, but they're not some kind of magical super heal. I mean, they're the standard battleship heal from when this ship was introduced. And we've just moved on. You know, there's ships like the Valparaiso, which just continuously prints itself a new ship. So yeah, the Grosser Kurfürst, sadly, is just an artifact of an older game. You know, you can still play the Grosser Kurfürst, of course. You can still have some battle impact sometimes. I don't know. Is this fun? I mean, you know, it's not the worst. I mean, but it's not the way the ship was designed to be played. It's not really the way you ideally want to play the ship. Of course, you can play the ship like a tanky, pushing, brawling battleship in other modes, like asymmetrics maybe, or co-op, or even operations. But if you want to play randoms, yeah, you're kind of stuck. And of course, nobody plays a ship like Grosser Kurfürst in competitive modes like clan battles because of all the reasons I just mentioned. It's just so easy to counter them. I mean, you know, seeing a Grosser Kurfürst is the dream for a ship like, I don't know, Groningen, for example. I mean, you just stand there and just absolutely hose it down with HE. Or like a Shimakaze. I mean, it's so big and so slow. It's 30 knots top speed, which is really bad, especially at tier 10 where you have battleships that are going 45 knots. It cannot turn. It's huge. So it's just super easy to hit with torpedoes, to hit with an aircraft carrier. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of sad. Like, I'm pushing things just by getting this close to this Thunderer. I mean, my best play at this point is to hit the gas and go away from him, which is what I'm going to do. The mistake I make here is I'm playing too aggressively. I'm at H10 and I'm playing too aggressively. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, is this always true? No, of course not. I mean, once in a while you get a game, you know, if you were willing to sit and play Grosser Kurfürst all day, you might get a game where you've got some tier 8s in the game and you know, you don't have any aircraft carriers and you get into a good situation and you can push a little bit. I'm not saying every game is as bad as this one. I'm just saying that, I mean, this turned out to be a winning strategy for me, for my team. And in fact, I think in retrospect, the only mistake I made is that I didn't like go hard enough on hiding. If I had hit the gas a little earlier, I might have gotten a couple more shots in on this Thunder. As it is, I'm going to burn out, I think. Actually, okay, the Montana takes a shot at me. So again, I mean, do you have to play the Grosser Kurfürst like that? No, of course not. You know, if you're just looking to have fun, I mean, you know, do your thing, brawl. But more games than not, you're going to have a bad time. You're just going to get burned down. You're going to get torpedoed. You're going to have aircraft carriers all over you. I mean, because you're a damaged sponge, which of course is the other problem with World of Warships, which is that the main way that players rank themselves, other than win rate, of course, is this PR number. And PR is heavily, heavily influenced by how much damage you do, just raw damage numbers. And so Grosse Kurfürst is basically a damage pinata. So a lot of players, especially the good ones, they just love seeing a Grosse Kurfürst. They'll just stand there, even if it's not good for their team, and they'll just pour HE into your superstructure because it's trivial to get 30, 40,000 damage against a Grosse Kurfürst, and that makes your numbers look really good. I mean, who's going to take shots at a kiting destroyer, even though that might be the right play for the game? It's worth mentioning that the XP and the rankings in the game actually do reward you correctly, but the PR that everyone uses, like at a competitive level to evaluate players, doesn't take any of that into account. It's just raw damage numbers. Anyway, I mean, I don't want to sound too negative. You know, I mean, the game's just different than it used to be, and there's different ships that are fun. I just played the Delhi earlier today, and that's a tier 5 cruiser that's kind of the opposite of the Grosse Kurfürst. It has some tricks up its sleeve, right? Or, you know, then you've got these modern ships like the Aki, right? Where it's, I mean, they can just stand there and drop HE bombs out of planes. I mean, good luck fighting against one of those guys in a Grosse Kurfürst. He's going to drop bombs on your superstructure and you're going to be toast. So, yeah, I mean, this happens to a lot of online games. You know, the game just moves on. Things that were good a long time ago, it's just not anymore. It's just, you know, it is what it is. Armor and hit points are just not going to save you these days. It's all about maneuverability, you know, because a lot of it comes down to positioning, but also comes down to dodging shells, especially when you're dealing with things like aircraft carriers. I mean, that's your main, right? That's the joke is always just dodge. And it's true, right? Yeah. So, you know, that's the Grosse Kurfürst. It's still an okay ship, you know, especially if you, the problem is you're going to buy it and then you're going to get into a game and you're really going to want to use it the way you think it's meant to be used. You're going to want to, I mean, because it looks big and strong and you got all these hit points and you got all this armor and you're like, oh man, look at me. You know, it's okay that my guns have bad dispersion because I've got these secondaries and I can just, you know, go in with impunity and back up my cruisers and everyone's going to shoot at me, but they're not going to do any damage. That's the fantasy. And unfortunately, it just doesn't work. I don't know whether it ever worked. You know, I've only played WoWs for maybe 5 or 6 years. So I wasn't around back in the really early days. I don't know how things worked back then. Maybe it did work when the ship was first introduced, but I can tell you it definitely doesn't work now outside of really rare lucky instances. So yeah, this one's going to end up being a victory. I mean, you know, I took 1.8 million in potential damage. I did 100,000 damage back. I had some battle impact. We're actually going to end up in the middle of the table at the end. So, you know, in that sense, the ship can still be effective. You just have to play it very differently. And the way you have to play it might not be a ton of fun, just depending on what you're trying to get out of World of Warships. I mean, look at this, right? The Tone, tier 8 cruiser just out here. Oh, wait, is the Tone cruiser? Yeah, right? Tone cruiser. I don't know. I'm going to get that wrong. It's right on screen, isn't it? Yeah, Tone cruiser. Yeah, you know, launching planes. That poor Thunder. I mean, what do you do in a game like this? I mean, you do what I did, right? You turn your stern to the cap. You try and dodge as much as you can. You try and take as many shells as you can on the armor where it has armor. You shoot at opportunistic targets. You try to get your secondaries to fire if you can, you know, without taking too much damage. Yeah, you stay at range. I mean, which is undoubtedly not how the ship was thought of by the game designers when they put the ship in the game, but it is what it is. Do I recommend you pick up the Grosse Kurfürst? Well, yeah, I mean, you have to ask yourself, am I willing to play it like this? Or do you just want it for, you know, co-op or for historical reasons or for asymmetric mode? Then sure, fine. But I mean, if you think you're going to play it like a tank in random games, then I think you'll probably wind up being disappointed. So yeah, Right? That's the gross occur first. A little bit power crept. Game's very different. Yeah, so 2 badge. Let's see, how did I do in terms of XP? Yeah, middle of the table, 1600 XP. Yeah, so basically the game's telling me that I played well, that was a good game. Anyway, okay, I will see you guys in the next one.